Hello and welcome to Reality Recapped, where I recap all of the trashiest reality shows. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and it's through that lens that I watch these shows and make my comments. Of course, I have not met with any of the people on this show, so everything that I state is simply an opinion. My channel is a little bit of education and a whole lot of snark. This video is going to recap Season 2, Episode 3 of Sister Wives, The Price of Polygamy.
I believed in living this lifestyle. It just makes each of us better.
I expected there would be other wives. I think there's room for everybody.
I like sister wives. I wanted the family. I didn't just want the man.
The wives work together. I want to be a part of that team.
Love should be multiplied, not divided.
This episode is essentially two different topics. The first is Cody and Janelle go away on a camping trip together. The second topic talks about finances, how the family pays bills, who does what, and this is the topic we have all been waiting for. So I'm going to split these into two different sections. We're going to begin with the camping trip.
Janelle and I are going camping for her birthday. We need a little time away, and so we're going to go down to Arches National Park.
Hi, Dad!
Hey, how's it going? Going camping.
In our big family with multiple wives, it's important that you nourish each relationship. So time alone just makes sense. It allows you time to connect as a couple.
I wonder how much of this is actually their everyday life and this is really how they interact, and how much of this is part of knowing that they have cameras following them. And one of the questions is going to be is, how do people get alone time? I don't believe that Cody hangs out with Janelle twice a year by themselves. But maybe they do, and I'm completely wrong.
It's where we try and get away from the rest of the family for a little time together. I'll go see what I gotta go. I haven't even thought about it, so.
Okay, just be fast,
Okay.
be focused.
What do I wear?
Anything but the shirt you have on. What is that?
We're gonna go on a road trip overnight, go down to Arches National Park and stay the night and hike around. And so it's kind of fun to go away and just sort of reconnect like that. I don't think we're fitting.
We are fitting.
Okay. All right. Oh, all our bedding.
Yeah, jeez. No. Why aren't they rolled? We need to roll these. These are sleeping bags.
Because they don't zip up anymore.
We're buying 2 sleeping bags on the way.
No.
Yeah, I'm not taking those.
No, I'm not spending the money. Sorry.
I don't feel like sleep.
No, we'll lay them flat. I have a sheet, blankets.
Yeah, but it's camping. You got to be able to zip them together.
I'm okay with not zipping them together. I don't want to spend the money. I'm just not into spending all the money.
Okay.
All right, that's our big argument.
I'm
all the
not
time.
taking the pillows. Got smaller pillows.
Okay, it's fine with me. Cody wants to solve everything really quick. Let's just go to the store and buy it. And I'm like, no, I think we could make do with what we have on hand. So it's been a constant source of friction in our marriage.
Janelle loads up all the bedding, and they head downstairs to load the car.
We're taking a quilt camping. What?
The quilt is not the problem. The teeny tiny sports car that you have to drive, even though you have plenty of other vehicles parked literally steps from this one, is the problem. Anyone else suspect that Janelle probably had to talk Cody out of bringing the motorcycle on this trip? And I'm going to say, compared to a motorcycle, a convertible seems like a really reasonable option.
You'll be really glad when it's cold tonight.
No,
As far as like how much time it takes Cody to get ready to go somewhere, it boggles my mind. Cody will go in and say goodbye to everybody, which is awesome, but it takes a long time. Oh wow, here he is.
Janelle's ready to go. Bye. Okay. See ya. Okay. Here.
Okay.
Cody and Janelle get in the car, but before they can take off, Gabe wants to show his mom a real quick pogo trick.
Look, Mom, no hands!
Oh. You all right?
Yeah.
All right.
So freaking cute. Kids are the best.
This is awesome. Check it out.
Yeah, it's a nice place.
Where do you put your tent? There?
We'll put it right here. Do you know how to put this one up, Janelle?
Sort of. Every year I relearn.
I've never done this. I don't know.
Here,
So are there
this is the tent.
directions?
Here, no. There's really not.
So when he's working on the tent, Cody wants directions. But when he's working on the air mattress, Cody says,
Wait, read the instructions.
Are you kidding? I'm a man. I don't read the instructions.
and this is a lighthearted topic, but you can see how Cody just says off the cuff what he means in that second. This is a very lighthearted topic, and so it really doesn't have a lot of consequences. But of course, having a relationship with somebody who's very fickle, as he is shown to be, probably feels really chaotic. You know that no matter what your conversation is and what you've discussed, he will come back an hour, a day, a week later and completely contradict and change his opinion about everything that you've already decided. And that would be really challenging to live with over a lifetime.
So it's nice that Cody and I are able to get away for an overnight stay. And it was also, really awesome that while I was gone, my kids were taken care of, and Meri, Christine, and Robyn were kind of holding down the fort.
I think Janelle's personality is very structured. And so I think she's the type of person that would sit down when nobody else is around and kind of generate a list in her head of all of the benefits of polygamy, and bullet point by bullet point will go through them for the viewers, because I think at the forefront of her mind and her full-on objective is not just to be on a show and get lost in kind of living day-to-day life. I think she constantly brings it back to the benefit of polygamy. And in this case, she's saying, I can go on a trip with my husband and I have all these sister wives to take care of the kids at home. Lots of married people go on vacations and they don't have to be married to another spouse to make that happen. People have families, people have friends, people have babysitters. There's all sorts of ways to go on vacation when you have children and to spend time alone with your spouse that don't necessitate having a whole other family involved.
Let's go out over here.
We were glad we had this last night.
Yeah.
Under the quilt, we were warm.
She wanted to bring the quilt because she knew it'd be cold. It was cold. We used the quilt.
And there was no need to go buy a sleeping bag for a trip.
And so we had the quilt. We saved the money. So she was right. Did I say she was right?
Add
Say,
the next
you got
part.
it.
Add the next part.
She's right.
And I was.
And I was wrong. This is
And now a warning. Are you ready for some super awkward PDA?
She doesn't like PDA, and I'm very comfortable with it.
So I had to learn how to let him kiss me in public.
I actually had to learn myself how important it was to me, and then I started telling her.
Well, and I learned it was important to him. So I had to learn to speak to him in that language that he understood I was expressing.
She doesn't hug and kiss me. I don't believe she loves me.
So I had to learn to do that. And it's funny because we've been married 17 years.
17 years.
And it's only been the last one,
Yeah.
that I finally clued in that that's important. That's how he needs me to express that. So we managed to get by, but I think we've been better since I've been willing to sort of meet him in those needs.
So Cody's saying his love language is physical touch. It's great to know what it is that you really value in a relationship. And one way to discover that is by picking up a book like this. It's the 5 love languages. And they talk about different ways. No one feels loved in the same way. Everybody has their preferred displays of love. And the 5 are acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, affirmations, and I'm blanking on the 5th one. But if you know it in the comments, let me know. This is also a great way to open up a conversation around needs in a relationship, and it's a less intense way of talking about what it is that you really value from your partner, what you're wanting from your partner, and then also what they're wanting from you. It's a great way of opening up a conversation without anyone feeling particularly attacked. It's more like a discovery, like, oh, that's interesting. You like acts of service, like me making dinner for you, and I prefer affirmations like you look beautiful today or what have you. So there's a lot of different variations and everything can overlap and kind of interplay with one another. But it starts the conversation that people are very different. Their needs are very different. And so it opens up the conversation to talk openly about what each person wants. It's really important and great to know the most you can about yourself because it helps you bridge misunderstandings and disconnection. I'm in complete support of this. I don't buy it, though, that this is Cody's love language and he's just discovered this. I don't know if you remember this, but it's kind of burned into my memory. This awkward making out on this camping trip, him attempting to kind of display this affection with Janelle and how awkward it was. Like, I remember this before I even saw the video. The other thing that's burned into my memory is when we first met the whole family and how awkward that exchange was when he introduced us to Janelle. So I'm going to play the clip from season 1, episode 1, and then I will come back and kind of talk about what I see in the clip.
This is Janelle. She's number 2. Okay, hi. How's it going? Oh, shoot.
I think that is an incredibly awkward clip. And to me, it looks like Cody feels uncomfortable to have the camera see that his wife isn't totally gushing all over him. It feels like he's uncomfortable that the viewing public is seeing this exchange. And I think the most important thing for Cody is to be viewed as someone who is really wanted by all of his wives and kind of adored. And Janelle doesn't play that way. She just doesn't. It's not what she does. So I think he really laid into her about this when it aired. And I bet it aired about a year ago, right around the time he discovered he likes physical touch. And to back up what I'm saying, I'm going to play the clip from this episode when Cody comes home from work. And let's watch how differently Janelle reacts. And she kind of gives away the fact that they've clearly had a conversation about this.
It was a work day.
Sorry. Hi, how are you?
She says, oh, sorry, hi. As if she just remembered, oh, shoot, he wants me to embrace him in this certain way when he comes home from work in front of the cameras. And if you're ever wondering if Cody feels a little nervous, that laugh will always give it away.
It was a work day.
Sorry. Hi, how are you?
Every relationship has its own independent power and its own independent bond. In a way, you kind of have to compartmentalize a relationship with each individual wife so that I have an individual relationship with them and then a group relationship with them.
I mean, in our family, and that's all I can speak for, I think all of the children think their mother is the favorite. But when he's with me, I'm the center of his universe, and my children see that.
Well, this has not aged well because clearly the kids were going to the parents in the last season and like saying to them, I don't like how you're being treated. I know Christine's kids were going to her and telling her that. I don't know if Madison was telling Janelle that, but I know the boys were telling Janelle that. Cody and Janelle go and look at a big rock, and then they look at a lot of arches, and then they come back home. And now we get into the really good part of this episode, which is talking about finances.
The number one question that I am asked is, how can you afford that size of family?
That's what I'm wondering for sure, and I think the other viewers are as well.
There's never been a moment when I thought, okay, whew, we can relax now.
And even though Janelle is already telling us that they're having trouble keeping up with the family that they have, Cody decides to add another 4 mouths and another household to their already very stretched budget. So what we know is that we have 2 full-time workers, Cody and Janelle. Meri says she works, but I believe she was only working part-time. And we know that Christine is now staying home. She just had Truly, but she was also working part-time while she was pregnant. Of course, the major way that they are making money is from being on this show. And while we don't know the exact amount, In Touch Weekly estimates from a show's producer, who knows the industry, estimates that the Browns probably make anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 per episode. This article says that the show has run for 14 seasons. In real life, it's 18 and going on 19, which would have made them at a minimum around $4 million. Of course, that's their gross, not their net. It would be about 40% less because of taxes. But even taking taxes into account, it's still a significant amount of money, way more than most Americans make. So why are we constantly hearing about liens being placed on the property, about outstanding tax debts, and things like that? The family experienced financial trouble. In 2005, Cody and Meri filed for bankruptcy. Christine eventually filed for bankruptcy in 2010 as well. The other thing that happened in 2010 was the episodes aired for the first time. The article continues. In 2014, Robyn's son Dayton got in a serious ATV accident that resulted in a major medical bill. Because of Cody's reported six-figure debt, they were unable to pay the hospital, and a lien was reportedly put on their home until the debt was settled a year later. In June 2020, Christine asked fans to purchase her LuLaRoe clothing in order to pay for her daughter Isabel's $50,000 scoliosis surgery. And this is all from In Touch Weekly. All of the articles and everything that I cite in this video will be put in the description box below. You are welcome to go and view everything as you wish. According to the American Bankruptcy Institute, the three most common reasons why people file for bankruptcy is due to 1, job loss, 2, medical problem. I think people that live in other countries would be really surprised by how intense medical bills can be and how quickly they can snowball. And then the final reason is for divorce. I'm not quite sure what happened with Meri and Cody's bankruptcy, nor Christine's, so I'm not really going to go into that. The article goes on to say, the family has struggled financially for years, despite the hefty TLC paychecks. Cody owns a business selling guns at gun shows across the country that he owns with 2 of his friends. Meanwhile, each wife has protected their children by having their own side gigs. Christine and Janelle made their small fortunes selling LuLaRoe and Plexus MLM to their followers. Meri runs her successful bed and breakfast, Lizzie's Heritage Inn, which has made the family a lot of money. Since joining the family, Robyn has been the only wife who hasn't contributed financially. While she did start the now defunct jewelry business, My Sister Wife's Closet, it went out of business in 2019. As of right now, it's unclear if she has another job.
So coming into the family and not working, it was like this huge transition for me.
I really did not see how the dollars and cents were going to work.
In my mind, just going, please help her to see what value I am to this family.
Little kitty here. My cup runneth over.
I never really noticed how sinister the music was. I just remember her laughing about her cup runneth over. But wow, going back and adding that in with everything else, like I wonder, did TLC kind of have an idea of what was going to happen? There's no way I think anyone could have predicted how Robyn was able to manipulate everybody financially and come out as the winner financially. I mean, I think Cody comes out more on top than Robyn does because his name is on more property than Robyn's is. But still, if you think about somebody coming into a 16-year established family and her being able to extract the finances for herself and secure the best financial situation for herself at the cost of everybody else, it's like, how does that happen? And it's amazing that it was caught on video, this whole process. I think what the family kept thinking was, it'll all even out. Eventually, it's all going to even out. But as we know, it did not all even out. Robyn ended up with the lion's share.
When Robyn came up and she was looking for work and didn't have work, there was a little bit of an adjustment there from my perspective, like, okay, so it's got to go even further now.
So it sounds like Janelle was told that Robyn's going to go look for work and she's going to be finding a job. And I would imagine that Janelle would not have been as interested in signing on if she thought that Robyn wasn't going to work and not contribute at all financially. They were already struggling. Why would she be on board with that? So Janelle's talking about, needing to adjust until Robyn finds work. But later on, Cody says that Robyn nor Christine are going to work. They're both going to stay home. And I don't think that was the initial agreement with Janelle. I don't think she would have been okay with that.
But I think that right off, we established that Robyn coming into the family was huge for me because I was so stressed out. When Robyn came, she took over some of the responsibility. Then it was really helpful for me.
Coming into the family, it's kind of like you are sort of going through this rite of passage, I guess you'd say, kind of trying to prove yourself. But at the same time, there's this part of me that just wants to go and do some really great job and contribute vast amounts of money and go, here, look, see what I did. I'm valuable to this family.
I mean, I feel like this is just black and white thinking, right? So if you can't bring in a ton of money, you don't bring in any money. Girl, your kids are at school during the day. Go get a freaking job while your kids are at school. I understand you wanting to be home with your kids. I totally get it. At least get a part-time job. It just feels so unreasonable to me that you're going to marry this man and not work. And we know that not only did she not work, she got nannies in. She had childcare very early on. They're not showing it here, but I'm pretty sure she had a family member that moved in with her and that was providing childcare from the get-go. I know that this person definitely moved to Las Vegas. So you don't have to bring in millions and billions of dollars, but my God, at least go get a part-time job. And I don't know how anyone allowed that to happen. Even Christine has been working this whole time. They tried to hide it from us, but even Christine, while she's pregnant, is at least doing, oh my gosh, so mad.
Right now, they've gone through a lot of emotions about this whole thing and me disrupting their lives and it's like I want to sit here and somehow be worthwhile enough that disruption is worth it to them.
The biggest one. Yeah, Robyn.
Currently, Robyn and Christine are staying at home, and my income covers them.
I'm going to call BS on this. And you want to know why? Because when you just had 3 wives, you made your pregnant wife work part-time because you guys were so tight financially. And I'm looking at Janelle sitting there, and I bet you anything she's seething because she knows the finances. She knows how much Cody actually makes. She knows she makes way more than he does. And she knows this is all BS.
Sometimes Janelle will throw in for groceries and stuff.
Janelle and Cody make the bulk of the money. They just do. My job doesn't pay as much, and so I've got some of the smaller bills, and I just know to take care of that.
I also thought that Meri only worked part-time. That could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said earlier on. I know she also got fired from that job because her employer didn't want to be attached to the show.
So Meri, Christine, and Robyn kind of have their own bills, and then Cody and I coordinate getting the mortgage and the utilities paid, and then we all sort of work together as a family to pay the rest of it. All right, so I'm going to pay this, and then I'll pay the power.
This one hasn't been paid this month yet?
No, I have the money. We have the money set aside. I just need to get it paid.
All right, okay.
The show has all these to me, really funny pieces to it. Like the fact that he's wearing what looks like a letterman's jacket while he's trying to discuss finances and paying bills to his wife paints such a picture of him just being really, really immature. I know this is a stretch, you guys. I know, but it just kind of cracks me up a little bit. I'd be like, at least take off the letterman's jacket or the mock letterman's jacket, Cody, while you pretend like you actually contribute as much as Janelle does to the finances.
So there's 16 kids. We have to prioritize where the money goes, and usually just
we meet all their basic needs.
Yeah.
And what we know now is that this isn't true. We know that Madison did not have health coverage, and many of the kids did not have health coverage. And she ended up in a situation where she had to have an emergency surgery that to me is you not providing enough for your family. And I get that can be embarrassing, but it's also like, you're saying this is a great lifestyle and you've chosen to have a bunch of children. And we're asking you, how do you make all the dollars and cents work? And you're telling us you are making it work. And it's not true.
I mean, for extra things like braces or...
Well, the squeakiest wheel seems to get the grease. I mean, a kid comes up to me and says, Dad, I need new shoes. I go and get him new shoes.
See, whereas in my own family, I have to kind of keep more track because I'm sorry, Madison would have me buy something every single paycheck for her.
Aspen would be the same way. And so finally I just had a heart-to-heart with her. And I'm like, look, I have a budget, and this week it's not your turn. I'm not getting anything for you this week.
That must be when she comes to me. She's been working that, I'm pretty sure.
I have one child. She gets whatever she wants whenever she wants it.
Wow!
That is such a lie.
That's one thing I gotta say is Mariah doesn't pester me nearly like the other kids do.
I'm always like paying the bills one month thinking, wow, I wonder how I'm going to pay him next month. You know, it always works out, but there's a lot of stress involved with trying to make sure everything gets paid.
They're trying to make it seem like the kids just want like fun new clothes or something. But we know from McKelty was talking about growing up and eating day old bread and being really hungry and having kind of gross food that they had to eat. So this is a very rosy stamp. And look, we're all guilty of this, right? We're all guilty of presenting our situations as possibly being better than they are. You know, it's uncomfortable to talk about finances, especially if you're actually struggling. And I think it's really difficult when you're on television, you know, to not try to portray yourself in the best possible light. So I have empathy for their situation and wanting to kind of protect themselves a little bit from the backlash of not being able to pay for all the children that you've decided to have. So, but it's also irritating at the same time.
It's important that Robyn and Christine stay home right now, and they're working hard.
I totally agree that staying home is really hard work, and you don't have a 9 to 5. You're not clocking in and out. You're constantly on the clock. You're constantly working. But what he's saying is we've decided that they're going to stay home now. Does Janelle know this? Did you tell Janelle that Robyn's staying home permanently as well? What I wonder is happening is Janelle hearing for the very first time that Robyn isn't actually going to end up looking for work? And how awful to be sitting on a couch in front of television cameras and finding out you've kind of been bamboozled. You've allowed this other person to come into your family, and now there's 4 more mouths to feed, and they're not going to work? Oh my goodness.
The way that I bring money into the family is because I save the family money by really watching what I shop, by buying in bulk, by canning. That's how I can help out financially with the family.
My goal was 300. I'm at exactly 300 even. That was my goal.
Right now, my contribution is helping being a mom at home, and that includes being the go-to girl for probably anybody, being there to take care of the kids.
What doesn't get added to this fun family arrangement is the fact that Robyn came in with debt. She's not coming in at a nil balance. She's coming in with, I think it was it $22,000 or $32,000 in credit card debt? It has been surmised that she's a little bit of a shopper, that she left her ex-husband in debt as well. I don't know how accurate that is, but looking at her home and the hoarding situation that seems to be happening and all of the boxes that are in her basement are actually in her house, and the fact that they've slowed down filming inside of Robyn's house potentially could be from COVID, but could also be because she's attempting to hide kind of the hoarding situation that might be happening. So, yeah, there's a few other pieces there that have not been introduced yet.
The advantage to us is we don't really have to pay for babysitter. We have the built-in ones right here.
She's
we don't
not
have
a
that
babysitter.
extra
She's
money.
a mother in this family.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have that extra money that needs to go out to daycare.
I don't know. I kind of suspect that hiring a babysitter might be cheaper than taking on 4 extra mouths to feed, house, and clothe. Just wait until she hires a nanny and buys a McMansion.
Isabel, you guys, this should be a snack, not a meal.
What a great babysitter. I mean, mom. What a great mom. There has been talk of Robyn leaving notes like on her refrigerator telling the kids that weren't hers that they couldn't have like certain things from her refrigerator. And we saw in a few episodes ago, Logan would always go to Christine's house if he wanted food. And Janelle even admitted, like, when I was hungry and I was tired of eating sandwiches after working all week, I would go to Christine's house and there'd always be food. Robyn has a very different policy with her kitchen, which is her food and everybody else is paying for her food and her kids' food. And how dare people come in and share her very limited resources.
I've always known what was going on with the finances in my life. And when I was on my own, I worked, I took care of my own money, I paid my own bills. I mean, like, it was just me. So coming into the family and not working, it was like this huge transition of going, Cody, I need to pay a bill. You know, do I just put the bill on the counter? How do you want to work this? So it was like a really big transition for me.
Yeah, we all really feel for you, Robyn. That must be awful to not know which counter to put your bill on.
I mean, there's no bones about it. I was very worried about the financial, and I really did not see how the dollars and cents were going to work.
And that's because you understand how basic math works, and nobody else seems to.
I mean, we were struggling to keep the roof over our own heads, and we were going to bring this person in and pay rent and groceries, and there was going to be no income coming in. I was worried.
Of course you were, because you're reasonable, because you're nestled in reality, because you understand how numbers work. Like, this is a completely reasonable response to this.
At the same time, Robyn coming in, months before we got married, she says, I can't come in and be a burden to your family.
But she did come in and be a burden to your family. So just because she says she doesn't want to do it, but she is doing it, like, what the heck?
I am hopeful that Robyn will get a job. She has been looking. It's not for lack of looking.
And she never got a job. Still to this day, she still does not have a job. Don't hold your breath, Janelle.
It has been very nice to have her home because Christine she really did kind of need to check out for a few months.
We also know now that Christine was suffering from pretty bad postpartum depression. I'm sure adding another wife into the mix while she was pregnant probably didn't help that.
Robyn's kind of held things together.
There's days I'll have, Janelle's kids over and she's come over and picked them up and stuff. And it's like, I'm just in my mind just going, please help her to see what value I am to this family, and Christine as well. It's like, there's days when, I've got her girls and she's taking a break and I'm like, please let this be something where she sees the value of me. Right now, if you were to take Christine, Meri, or Janelle, or Cody out of their group, they would miss that person and they would mourn that loss. I want to get to that point where they go, Robyn's not here? And they miss me.
So you have been in this family for 4 months, and this is what you're wanting. And spoiler alert, that never happens. They never miss you. You never become part of the fold because you have constantly removed yourself. You have different responsibilities. You get to hang out with Cody, hire nannies, not work, and basically suck the finances from everybody else. And people don't tend to miss people that are taking advantage of them.
The way that it all works out really well for me because I've got a really good balance with being able to have my job and then I'm home plenty of time, to spend time with Mariah as well.
In the last few years, I've been working, Janelle's been working, and Christine's been the one staying home, and she loves that. Sometimes I get a little bit envious, honestly, because I would like to be able to stay home more.
I would rather be home rather than have to go out and work all the time. This works really, really, really well for me.
I totally admire women who can stay home, but I don't know how to be that person at home.
And there are other women in this family who balance that by saying, I would prefer to work at home. So I'll stay at home, you work, we'll share.
You help with the bills, you pay for the bills, and I'll help take care of your
Bring home the bacon, I'll fry it up in the pan.
And to remind you once again, I think this is the third time I've said it, Christine was working. This is the first time she's staying at home with the kids. She had been working up to this point. It ticks me off that she's not given credit for having worked part-time after taking care of the kids all day and then having to leave and go to work at night and being worried that no one was tucking in her children.
I have this tremendous home life, but I still get to do what I want to do. So I'm getting the best of both worlds.
Sometimes I think that Janelle is a better mom when she is working, you know, because she loves her career.
Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Hi, babies.
And so when she does get home in the evenings after work, she's not too tired to spend time with her kids. And so that time that she has with them is quality time, I think.
My contribution to the family is the money that makes my home life great. So I get to work and do what I want, and then I have this great home life. Will I exchange my paycheck for that? You bet. Why wouldn't I?
It's a good thing that everybody in the family has roles. They all pitch in. We're all able to help each other. There'll always be a team when it comes to making sure that the family has their needs met. And there'll always be a team on the idea of saying, this is family and we do this together.
It's very much why this lifestyle works, because you have these very basic, raw human emotions of selfishness and possessiveness, and you have to step outside that and you have to look out what's better for the whole. And you become, I believe that you become a better person.
It never fails to be true that the person who is professing that it's all about not being selfish and it's all about giving and not thinking about what you're not getting and all about compassion and love and acceptance, the person that's always touting that, I feel like, predominantly, is the most selfish person. And she's turned out to be the most selfish person in this family. She presents herself in a very different way. What her words are saying are in contrast to her behavior. You don't move into a family and then have everybody else take care of you and talk about selflessness. What a huge manipulation. That's it for this week, you guys. I put out this video a little earlier to thank everybody for being so patient with the copyright restrictions and the delay in the video last week. I will again post every other week, but if I can get them up sooner, I definitely will. Thank you so much. Please like, please subscribe if you haven't. It costs you nothing, and it makes a huge difference on my end.